So every time you drink a cup of coffee or, enjoy a glass of red wine with dinner, your teeth are actually acting like these tiny microscopic sponges.
They really are,
Yeah.
which is kind of a gross thought when you first hear it.
Right. I mean, we tend to think of our teeth, specifically the enamel, as this impenetrable, solid rock. But on a microscopic level, they're completely covered in pores.
Millions of them.
Yeah, and those pores are just constantly soaking up the pigments from literally everything you consume. So when you're, I don't know, getting ready in the morning and the light hits the bathroom mirror just right.
Or you zoom in just a fraction on a photo from a weekend get-together.
Exactly. You zoom in and think to yourself, man, I wish my smile was just a little bit brighter. But what you're actually looking at are years of microscopic pigments trapped inside those porous little sponges.
Yeah, it's a completely universal experience. You are definitely not alone in wanting to change it.
But then, you decide to actually take action, you're feeling motivated, and you end up standing right in the middle of the oral care aisle at the supermarket.
Which is, let's face it, arguably one of the most overwhelming aisles in any modern store.
It's terrifying.
It really is. You're faced with this massive wall of cardboard boxes. There are, abrasive charcoal pastes. There are those messy one-size-fits-all plastic strips.
Oh, and those little devices with the weird blue lights attached to them?
Yes, the ones that promise to transform your smile in a matter of days. It is just the paradox of choice in action. We all want the end result, right? That picture-perfect, confident smile.
Mhm.
But the pathway to get there is just cluttered with marketing noise and, frankly, a lot of questionable science.
Which is a huge problem, because achieving a brighter smile shouldn't be a guessing game where you're just, hoping a $20 box does the trick without secretly damaging your teeth.
Exactly. It shouldn't be a gamble.
Okay, so let's unpack this, because
Yeah.
today, that is exactly our mission for this deep dive. We are cutting through all that grocery store noise and getting down to the actual science and strategy of a brighter smile.
I love that.
Yeah, and to do that, we're looking at the clinical protocols and the specific insights from the team at My Gentle Dentist Brookside. We're going to use their approach as our ultimate case study today to settle what they call the Battle of the Brights.
The battle of the brides.
Right. We're breaking down the two professional gold standards of cosmetic dentistry: in-chair whitening versus custom take-home kits.
And this is so important because, as it turns out, figuring out the absolute best way to whiten your teeth isn't just about the biology of the teeth themselves.
Right.
It's about how you live your life.
Yeah.
It is about matching a highly specific clinical solution to your human reality.
Because they both work, right?
Oh, absolutely. Both of these professional methods are incredibly safe when administered correctly,
Yeah.
and both will give you beautiful, lasting results that just fundamentally outshine anything you could ever buy off the shelf.
Okay, good to know.
But the biological mechanics of how they work, the chemistry involved, and honestly, more importantly, the day-to-day experience of using them are completely different.
So if you pick the wrong one,
If you make the wrong choice for your specific lifestyle, it can lead to frustration, wasted money, or a set of whitening trays that just sit in a bathroom drawer gathering dust.
guilt tripping you every time you open it.
Exactly.
Well, let's say you're standing in that supermarket aisle because you want a brighter smile for a wedding on Saturday. You immediately hit a biological wall, right? Over-the-counter strips simply aren't concentrated enough to change the color of your teeth in 48 hours.
No, they are not. Not even close.
And human nature is pretty impatient. When we decide we want to change, we usually demand it right now, today. I don't want to wait 3 weeks.
With the fast forward button.
Exactly. So to bypass that timeline, you have to fundamentally change the chemistry, which naturally leads us to explore the first professional option, the fast track, or in-chair whitening.
Right. And the in-chair option is engineered entirely around that human demand for immediate results.
Walk me through that.
So, to give you an idea of how this operates in an actual clinical setting, the team at My Gentle Dentist Brookside utilizes something called the Zoom whitening system for their in-chair treatments.
Okay.
The entire premise here is speed combined with strict clinical safety. You literally walk into the clinic, you sit back in the chair, the dental team goes to work, and in just about 1 hour, you walk out with teeth that are several shades whiter.
Wait, hold on. I have to play the skeptic here for a second. You just sit there, and in one single hour, your teeth are suddenly several shades whiter.
That's the reality of it, yeah.
See, if it's bleaching my teeth that aggressively and that fast, isn't it stripping away my enamel? Because bypassing weeks of gradual work in 60 minutes sounds like a magic trick. Or worse, it sounds like it's sanding down the structural integrity of the tooth.
Sure.
How is that actually safe? What is the biological trade-off here?
Well, what's fascinating here is that it's a totally valid concern, but it comes from a misunderstanding of what a tooth actually is.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The trade-off is not your enamel. Professional whitening doesn't strip or sand anything away.
Okay.
To understand why it's safe, we have to look at the anatomy. Your tooth has two main layers we care about here. The outer layer is the enamel, which is actually somewhat translucent.
So it's sort of clear.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And the layer underneath that is called the dentin. The dentin is where the actual yellowish color of your tooth lives. And it's also where those deep stains, what chemists call chromogens, get trapped over time.
Ah, I see. So the stains aren't just sitting on the surface like dirt on a window?
No, they are deeply embedded.
Yeah.
And this is where the professional grade chemistry comes in. The Zoom system uses a highly concentrated hydrogen peroxide gel.
Which you can't just buy at the store.
Exactly. Because your enamel is porous, like we mentioned earlier with the sponge analogy, this peroxide gel actually passes completely through the outer enamel layer without damaging it.
Oh, wow.
It travels directly into the dentin, where it seeks out those dark pigment molecules, those chromogens, and then the peroxide breaks down into free radicals.
Right. Okay.
These free radicals violently attack the double carbon bonds that hold those dark pigments together.
Wait, so it isn't washing the tooth like soot on a dirty plate?
Not at all.
It is more like sending in microscopic scissors to find those tangled, dark molecules and just snip them into tiny, colorless pieces.
That is a perfect way to visualize it. By snipping those chemical bonds, the molecules no longer absorb light in the way they used to. They reflect light instead, which your eye perceives as a bright white tooth.
That is wild.
And the reason the Zoom system can do this in 1 hour is because of the proprietary blue light they use in the clinic.
So the light isn't just for show.
No, the light acts as a catalyst. It accelerates that chemical reaction, hyperactivating your microscopic scissors. So they do their entire job in 60 minutes instead of 3 weeks.
Okay, so the science is sound and it's not melting my teeth. Good to know. But there is always a catch, right? If I'm
Yeah.
getting this massive, hour-long accelerated chemical reaction, what am I actually sacrificing?
What's fascinating here is the trade-off. You are sacrificing upfront capital for clinical efficiency.
Meaning it costs more.
Yes, you are paying a premium because the dental team is absorbing all of the labor and all of the risk mitigation.
Risk mitigation, like what?
Well, you cannot safely put a highly concentrated hydrogen peroxide gel on your teeth at home because if it gets on your gums, it will cause severe chemical burns.
Oh, yikes.
Right. So in the clinic, the dental team spends a significant portion of that hour carefully applying a protective liquid dam to your gums, isolating the teeth perfectly before the gel ever even touches you.
So they do all the prep work.
Exactly. They're handling the materials, monitoring the safety parameters, and executing the whole treatment.
So you are essentially outsourcing the effort. You are paying the professionals to handle the dangerous chemistry so you just don't have to think about it.
Precisely. You don't have the mental burden of remembering to wear whitening trays every single night before bed. You don't have to build a new habit into your daily routine. It is the ultimate exchange of money for time and convenience.
Makes sense.
If you are a busy professional working 50-hour weeks, the absolute last thing you want is another chore at the end of the day. Or if you have a highly photographed event impending, like that wedding this weekend, a graduation, or a huge presentation, you just don't have the luxury of time.
You need it right now.
You need that immediate wow factor. And the clinical environment allows for a rapid transformation that simply cannot be replicated safely at home.
Okay, that paints a very clear picture of the fast track. You pay a bit more upfront, but you buy back your time, you get the biological safety of the gum protection, and you get instant gratification.
Exactly.
But let's look at the other side of the coin. What if that upfront cost is a barrier? Or what if you just, I don't know, don't like the idea of sitting under an intense blue light for a rapid chemical transformation all at once?
This is not for everyone.
What is the alternative that still guarantees those professional, high-quality results so we don't end up wandering back into the supermarket aisle hoping a box of strips will save us?
That brings us to the second professional gold standard, the custom take-home kits.
Okay.
If the in-chair method is a high-speed sprint, this is a very comfortable, highly personalized marathon.
I like that.
It is the ideal solution for budget-conscious patients or for individuals who actively prefer a more gradual, subtle progression of their smile over a couple of weeks, rather than a sudden dramatic change in one afternoon.
Well, walk me through the mechanics of this one, because when you say take-home kit, I am immediately picturing those flimsy strips in a cardboard box again, where you try to wrap them around your teeth and they just slide around in your saliva.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. But the clinical take-home kit is an entirely different beast from the supermarket options,
Yeah.
largely because of the structural engineering involved.
Structural engineering. For teeth whitening.
Seriously, the process actually starts in the clinic, not at home. The dental team takes a highly precise physical or digital mold of your unique dental anatomy.
Oh, so it's made for you.
Completely. From that specific mold, they fabricate custom-fitted whitening trays. You are then given these bespoke trays alongside syringes of professional-grade whitening gel. You take them home, dispense a tiny drop of gel into each tooth compartment of the tray, and wear them according to a schedule.
Okay, I want to focus on those trays for a second, because the physical fit seems like the main differentiator here.
It is.
Using those messy one-size-fits-all supermarket strips is kind of like trying to wear a cheap plastic poncho in a rainstorm. It sort of covers you, but it's loose, it flaps around, water gets in, and it's incredibly awkward.
That's a great way to put it.
But these custom clinical molds, that is like slipping into a bespoke, perfectly tailored suit made exclusively for the exact contours of your teeth.
The bespoke suit analogy works perfectly, especially when we look at the biological consequences of a bad fit.
What happens with a bad fit?
Well, the problem with the cheap poncho grocery store strips isn't just that they are uncomfortable. It is that the loose fit allows your saliva to easily wash underneath the strip. And saliva actually neutralizes the active whitening ingredients.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. So not only is the over-the-counter strip weaker to begin with, but your own mouth is constantly deactivating it while you wear it.
That's so counterproductive.
It really is. Furthermore, that loose fit allows the chemical agents to leak out onto your sensitive gum tissue, causing irritation.
Right, so the custom tray acts like a watertight seal.
It creates a perfectly sealed microenvironment. It locks the professional-grade gel strictly against the porous enamel where it belongs, preventing saliva ingress and protecting your gums.
Which means it actually gets to do its job.
Exactly. This allows the chemistry to work undisturbed for hours at a time. But beyond the physical engineering of the tray, the true power of the take-home kit lies in the psychology and the control it offers the user.
Okay, what do you mean by the psychology? Whitening your teeth doesn't exactly seem like a deeply psychological event.
Well, it's about who holds the steering wheel. The in-chair method requires you to completely surrender control to the dental team. You are a passive participant.
All right, you just sit there.
But the take-home kit puts you entirely in charge of the process. It offers a level of lifestyle flexibility that is incredibly appealing. You integrate the treatment into your own specific downtime.
Like doing the dishes.
Or if you want to whiten your teeth while you are sitting on your couch, reading a book or watching a documentary on a Tuesday night, you can seamlessly do that.
Combining entertainment with cosmetic dental care, that definitely makes the marathon easier to run.
It does, but it goes much deeper than just scheduling convenience. The most critical aspect of this user control revolves around the biology of tooth sensitivity.
Oh, yeah. That's a big issue for a lot of people.
Sensitivity is a very real biological reality for a significant portion of people when they whiten their teeth.
Why does that actually happen, by the way? Why do our teeth ache when we try to make them look better?
It goes back to those microscopic pores we talked about earlier.
Sponges.
Right. When the peroxide gel travels through the enamel to break down the stains in the dentin, it temporarily leaves those pores wide open. Deep inside the dentin, there are microscopic channels called dentinal tubules that lead directly to the nerve at the center of the tooth.
Okay, that sounds painful already.
Well, when the pores are open, fluid inside those tubules shifts around more easily, especially if you breathe in cold air or drink a cold glass of water.
And that hits the nerve.
Exactly. That fluid movement triggers the nerve, and you feel that sharp little zap of sensitivity. It is totally temporary, as the pores will naturally remineralize and close back up through your saliva, but it can definitely be uncomfortable.
And with the in-chair method, all of that chemistry is happening at maximum speed all at once.
Correct. But with the custom take-home trays, you dictate the pace of the chemistry.
Because you're in control.
Exactly. If you experience a little bit of that zapping tooth sensitivity on a Wednesday, you have the power to simply hit pause, you skip Thursday. You give your teeth 24 hours to rehydrate, you let the pores temporarily close, and you pick the treatment back up on Friday. You cannot do that in the dentist's chair.
You're strapped in.
Yeah. The take-home kit transforms the whitening process into a deeply personalized health experience where your specific comfort dictates the timeline.
Okay, here is where it gets really interesting for me, though. We have spent this whole time talking about the short-term mechanics,
Nice.
the intense 1 hour in the chair with the blue light versus the week or two on the couch managing your own microscopic pores. But what happens when normal life resumes?
Ah,
Because let's face it, my life is full of coffee.
most people's are.
The chromogens are going to come back. Those little sponges are going to soak up the morning espresso and the weekend red wine again, right?
The sponge will inevitably restain.
Mm.
Lifestyle habits will always take their toll on the brightness of our teeth over time. No whitening procedure, no matter how advanced, is permanent if you continue to consume pigmented foods and drinks.
Right.
And this reality is exactly where we have to look at the long-term return on investment, or the ROI, of these two methods.
Because if I do the 1 hour in-chair session and 2 years from now my teeth are stained again from all the coffee, I have to go back and pay that premium upfront cost all over again for another hour in the chair.
That's right.
But with the take-home kits, there is a serious long-term play here. According to the protocols at My Gentle Dentist Brookside, once you own those bespoke custom trays, they are yours to keep forever.
That is a crucial leverage point in the decision-making process. The initial investment in the take-home kit heavily covers the clinical time required to take the molds and physically fabricate those tailored trays.
The hardware, basically.
Exactly. Moving forward, a year or two down the line, when you look in the mirror and feel like your smile needs a little refresh to clear out the new coffee stains, you do not need to start from scratch. You already own the structural hardware.
So what do you do?
All you need to do is pick up a highly affordable refill syringe of the professional-grade gel from the clinic.
That is incredible. So let me challenge you on this because I want to make sure I am seeing the whole picture here.
Go for it.
If the take-home kit gives you a bespoke, watertight fit that protects your gums, it gives you total control over your nerve sensitivity by letting you pause the treatment, it gives you the flexibility to do it while watching movies, and it has this massive long-term financial advantage where you just buy a tiny refill syringe for future touch-ups.
I know you're going with this.
Why would anyone ever choose the more expensive in-chair option? It seems like the take-home kit is just the undeniable objective winner here.
If we connect this to the bigger picture of human behavior, we realize that priorities are never one size fits all. It all comes down to what we can call the lifestyle matrix.
The lifestyle matrix.
Yeah, you're absolutely right that the take-home kit offers exceptional long-term ROI and biological control. But you cannot underestimate the profound value of immediate results for someone whose lifestyle actively demands it.
Right, the wedding on Saturday.
Exactly. The choice is essentially a pendulum swinging between two different currencies, time and discipline.
Ah, the discipline factor.
On one side of the pendulum, you have the 1 hour instant wow factor.
Yeah.
It requires a higher upfront financial cost, but it requires zero ongoing daily effort and zero discipline. It is a done-for-you service.
You just show up.
Right. On the other side of the pendulum, you have the gradual pacing. It is highly economical over the span of a decade, and it gives you control, but it fundamentally requires consistency on your part.
Right. Because if you know yourself, and you know you are the kind of person who will enthusiastically use the custom trays for 2 days and then leave them sitting in the bathroom drawer for 6 months because you're too tired before bed.
And the take-home kit suddenly isn't such a great financial value after all.
Yeah, you just paid for custom hardware that you aren't utilizing.
The best method is therefore entirely subjective. It depends on whether you are richer in time or richer in budget, and whether you are a creature of strict daily habit or someone who thrives on immediate outsourced solutions.
Makes a lot of sense.
This is exactly why the initial step in this entire journey shouldn't be making the final decision in isolation while staring at a phone screen. It should be booking a proper clinical consultation.
Getting a professional to actually look at the structural reality of your specific teeth?
Exactly. A consultation bridges the gap between what you want and what is biologically and behaviorally best for you. The experts at My Gentle Dentist Brookside, for example, sit down with you, assess the thickness of your enamel and the baseline shade of your dentin, discuss your specific aesthetic goals, and formally match the treatment chemistry to your lifestyle matrix.
So you aren't just buying a boxed product off a shelf.
No, you are collaborating on a bespoke treatment plan. And for anyone listening who wants to step out of the grocery aisle and actually explore that level of care, they can book that consultation and find all the clinical details directly at mygentledentistbrookside.com.au.
So what does this all mean for you? listening right now. It means that achieving that picture-perfect, confident smile doesn't have to be a confusing, overwhelming gamble with unpredictable supermarket chemistry.
It really doesn't.
It is a calculated strategic choice based on biology and behavior. You're either leveraging professional speed with the Zoom in-chair system, treating yourself to that premium 1-hour molecular transformation under the blue light, or you are investing in customized flexibility with the take-home kits, securing that bespoke physical fit and the long-term control over your own dental sensitivity.
Both are fantastic choices.
Right. Either way, you are stepping out of the guesswork and ensuring that those microscopic sponges we call teeth are getting professional, safe, and highly effective care.
And whichever path you choose within that lifestyle matrix, the physical outcome is going to be a brilliantly brighter smile.
But this raises an important question to think about as we wrap up.
Oh, lay it on me. We've spent all this time talking about the microscopic mechanics, how these professional tools physically change the chemical bonds inside your teeth, the speed of the free radicals, the tailored fit of the clinical molds.
The science.
Right, the science. But how much does simply knowing you have a customized, expert-backed plan for your smile change the way you project yourself to the world, even before the whitening gel ever touches your teeth?
Oh, I absolutely love that perspective. The confidence doesn't start when the chemical reaction finishes. It starts the moment you make the decision to take control of your health and appearance.
Exactly.
So, the next time you catch your reflection in the mirror or you are zooming in on a photo, remember the science behind the smile. And remember that you have the power to change what you see entirely on your own terms. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today. Keep smiling, stay confident, and we'll catch you next time.